This time we're looking at expanding brackets. So the process of expanding brackets is called the distributive law. And to expand two brackets, we use FOIL, which is first, outside, inside, last, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the first example of expanding out brackets is if we have 3x plus y. So what we actually want to do is, there's a multiplication sign in here. So what we're going to do is multiply in the 3 into the bracket. So we're going to do our 3 times by the first term and our 3 times by the second term. So 3 times the first term, 3 times x, is 3x. And we have a plus. And 3 times y is 3y. Of course, 3x and 3y are not like terms, so we can't add them. We just leave them as it is. Try another one. 4, 2 minus c. Sorry about all my scribbling. Get rid of that. Okay, all we're going to do is multiply in the 4 to the first term and to the second term. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times negative c is negative 4c. Again, then 8 minus negative 4c, they're not like terms, so you can't subtract them. Just leave them as it is. Let's try another one. This time we'll have x negative z plus y. So same as always, just multiply that into the first term, multiply it into the second term. Now x times negative z is negative xz, and x times positive y is positive xy. So negative xz plus xy, they're not like terms, so you just leave it as it is. Okay, now we're going to try foiling. So this is if you've got 3 plus x times 2 plus x. And what we're going to do is first, outside, inside, last. So you do the first terms, then you do the outside terms, then you do the inside terms, and then you do the 2 last terms. So the 2 first terms, 3 times 2 is 6. The 2 outside terms, 3 times x is 3x. The 2 inside terms, x times 2 is 2x. And the 2 last terms, x times x is x squared. Okay, as you might have noticed, we do have some like terms. We've got this 3x, ooh, thick, sorry guys, and the 2x. We've got x and x, so they're like terms. The x squared, however, is not a like term because it has that squared. The other two don't have a squared. So what we're going to do is gather them up. So we've got our 6, 3x plus 2x. You've got 3 of something and you add 2 of that something, you've got 5 of that something. And our x squared. So FOIL, first, outside, inside, last, works every time. Oops, switch to red. Let's try another one. Y minus 2, x plus 8. Now, remember to FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. So the first, x times y, or y times x. We get x, y. The outside terms, y times 8, is 8y. The inside terms, we've got negative 2, right? Don't forget about the negative. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And you've got negative 2 times by 8, negative 16. Now have a look. Do you have any like terms? We've got an xy, we've got a y, and we've got an x. None of those exactly match. We've got xy, y, and x. None of them are xy, 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 or y, 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 or x, x, x. They don't match. There's no like terms. So that is your final answer. You cannot simplify it any further. And I'll just squish in last one. 4x times by 2x minus 1 minus 3 times 2x minus 1. Now, there's two different ways to do this. The first is just to expand out your brackets. Just go first by the second, first by the second. So first, 4x times 2x. 4x times 2x, so 4 times x times 2 times x, you've got 8. X times x is x squared. And then 4x minus 1 is 4x times minus 1, sorry, is negative 4x. Right, then you've got negative 3 times 2x, negative 6x, and negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Now, you've got an x here and an x here. Got some like terms, so we can simplify. Our 8x squared stays the same. Got negative 4, take 6, negative 10x, and we've got our 3 on the end. Okay, so that's fully simplified. Now, the other way to do it, I'll just rewrite it. Notice that we've got the same bracket. So what you can actually do is factorize that by putting these two terms in a bracket as well. So you can put 4x minus 3 in a bracket and multiply that by our other bracket. Right, so that 4 came down here, 4x, and that negative 3 came down here. And then this one, these two joined up to be that one. So now all you have to do is FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. So first terms, 4x times 2x, 8x squared. Outside, 4x times negative 1, negative 4x. Inside terms, negative 3 times 2x, negative 6x. And last terms, negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Collect those two like terms. Our 8x squared stays. negative 4x, take away 6x, negative 10x, plus 3. So notice that our answer here and our answer here is exactly the same. So it's the two different ways you can do it. You can expand out step by step, or you can simplify it into two brackets and then FOIL.